on to the December 14th, 2020 library board meeting for the Estes Valley Library District. We have two members of the public who will soon be board members, Pete Johnson, Lynn Lawson. And we're going to first ask Claudine if we had any written comments submitted from the public.
No, John, we've had neither phone calls or emails from the public on tonight's meeting.
Thank you. And with that, then we will invite Pete, if you have any comments or questions about tonight's meeting.
No, I don't. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Never know if I'm using this right or not.
It seems to be working just fine tonight. So if you don't have, then we'll invite you to mute yourself for the rest of the meeting. Lynn, I'll give you the same opportunity as a member of the public to make any comments or questions that you might have tonight.
I don't have anything.
All right. And
I'll mute.
Mute yourself. Thank you. So we have present also board members, David Hemphill, Bill Garretts, Kay Weston, and Ann Coleman. Absent tonight is Beth Ellis. Our first order of business is our consent agenda. The consent agenda includes the Board of Trustees minutes from November 16th, 2020, the income and expense report, year-to-date November 2020, and the special meeting of the executive session of the board on personnel matters related to the library director from December 3rd, 2020. Now I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
I move to accept the consent agenda.
Thank you, David. And a second?
A second.
And seconds. Thank you. Anyone have any questions or edits to any of those items? Or wish to remove any of them from the consent agenda? I see no one wishing to do so. I'll ask for you to unmute yourselves, board, and vote. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 I think I heard everyone. Any opposed? None. So that passes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to strategic discussions and reports. The main one tonight that I have is a matter of some regret, but is also an opportunity for some recognition. Ann Coleman, this is her last board meeting at this point for her first term, full term. Ann started out as a library employee and or at times a volunteer at the library, I believe mostly part-time during a 20-year span. My records show that Ann then served on the Library Friends and Foundation Board for 2 years, 2015 and 2016. But during many years, she also gave a volunteer service at book sales and especially at our summer farmers market sales booth that was set up. She was named Library Volunteer of the Year in 2005. And we've lost your video. We want to see your face while we say this, if possible. Thanks.
Yeah, I have. Okay, now I'm back.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
that's fine. Ann joined the Board of Trustees in 2017 and is completing this year her full first term on the board. Ann's service to the library has been much appreciated by all who have known her, and we are most grateful for her long dedication. I hope everyone will join me in wishing her and Walt many more years of enjoying their time here in Estes Park. And as part of the recognition, Ann, there is a gift card for you at the library desk, and I believe there it is right there, has your name on it. Please plan to go by the library and pick it up, or if you don't feel you can, let us know and we'll get it and deliver it to you.
Okay,
That-
thank you.
I'll give you an opportunity to share any comments if you wish, Ann.
Well, I really hate to leave this, and I'm just trying, I will go to sleep every night thinking how I can torment you all. But I will be available if you need me.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And there may very well be that case come up. We'll see. Claudine, were you going to share something also?
It's a rare privilege to correct you always, John. So I take those opportunities where I can. And it is a gold card, not a gift card.
Oh,
It
okay.
it is your actual library card, Anne. It's your
okay.
library card, but now it's a gold card to the library. And as a
Okay.
departing trustee, this is your new library card. And when you come to the desk or you do anything, you get to flash it and be your special self.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I guess at this point, to make sure all board members are aware, and I think they probably are, and for the record, Bill Garrett's is going to be leaving Estes Park for the time being until he really relocates and establishes himself. He's has asked to be able to remain on the board. And so since we are doing Zoom meetings, we'll plan on Bill joining us until such time as he's fully repositioned himself. Is that correct, Bill?
Yes, that's correct, John. I don't know when that will happen.
Understood.
But yeah,
Okay, well, we'll just wait for you to let us know when that should be effective. And at such time, then we'll make other arrangements. Okay. I think that's all I have from government affairs for tonight. Annie has not joined us. So the report from the Friends and Foundation is found as a portion of the library's administrative report, monthly report. And I can read that for you if you'd like. They'd like to thank all for a successful Colorado Gives Day, which was last Tuesday, the 8th. 73 donors gave over $11,000. Last year we had 51 donors who gave over 7,500, so quite a nice increase for them there. So Cliffhanger is also, hopefully you've received this information via email as well, is providing a special day on this Wednesday, the 16th, for a $1 book sale to thank donors. So feel free to, if you're available and can, go enjoy that. Okay, Claudine, any additional report from you?
Yes, John, I've had a few questions from board members regarding the staff compensation survey. Want to let you know things are on schedule. I think we all hope they would be ahead of schedule. But what I'd like you to know is this week, Cindy Seckman and I, along with Pete Johnson, our new to-be trustee with the HR background, will be meeting with our consultant as a midpoint project check. And we're still expecting the results by or around December 31st. So I think that's probably the most important data right now, and timely as it relates to plans for next year and the library's budget. And I would be happy to try and answer any questions, but I think I'll know more by our January meeting.
Okay.
will that report be,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
will that report be circulated to the board members before the January meeting packet comes out?
If you'd like, absolutely.
I'm just thinking it's going to be a very important document and maybe fairly complex. Anyway, just an idea.
Bill, I think as soon as we receive it and have done our final check with the consultant, I'm very happy to share that with the board because it is in itself something that's going to drive our budget for probably the next 2 years, if not longer, in terms of a staged possible correction to our market numbers. I think the sooner you get that information, the better.
Great. That'll be nice. We haven't made any more progress right now on our study session planning. Claudia and I'll be working on that early in the new year. I did have a question, Claudine, about the February 4th. We still have that on this as an annual evaluation. We kind of did that on December 3rd, although not in written form. Is there consideration that would be the session for the 360 discussion or not?
It's undefined, John.
Okay.
We can do with it as we wish. And I think I brought up that there were some suggestions for other uses for that study session. So
Right.
Leave that to you.
So we'll be working on finalizing that agenda of as far as study sessions and so forth as soon after the first of the year as possible. Okay. I did not put down the finance committee for any report, but David, is there anything that you wanted to bring up before we move into the action items?
Nothing of real import other than noting in Cindy's financial report, anticipating to be able to use 50,000 of that $60,000 DOLA grant, which I think is really successful, really timely, really well done. And also, I'm very impressed with the E-rate program reimbursements for things like our internet. It's all going very well, and just a very good report that Cindy presented. So,
great. Thank you. Anyone have any questions about that report specifically? Financials?
May I
Yes,
brag
please.
about Cindy for 30 seconds?
Certainly.
Which I'm sure she'd prefer I didn't do, but I'd like you to know the roller coaster that the Coronavirus Relief Fund presents to, I'm sure, all applicants. We sure didn't take it personally that they told us we were on track to receive the funds we applied for, and then they informed us we were no longer on track for the funds we applied for. And I want to give a lot of credit for Cindy, who behind the scenes makes it look seamless, but I can't quite calculate the number of hours that she spent resubmitting and reconsidering the manner in which we submit this request so that we are funded. So it all looks easy from this beautiful report she wrote, but I want to let you know Cindy's truly been looking out for the library.
We're very happy to have her in that position and doing such a great job. Okay, if there's no other reports, discussions, we'll move into our action items. The first one I have, and this resolution I placed actually on the drive this morning. So if you looked sometime before that, you may not have seen it, but I will read it for you and ask for a motion and a second, and then we'll have opportunity for discussion. The resolution regards a 2020 bonus for our library director. Whereas the Estes Valley Public Library District Board of Trustees met on December 3rd, 2020 in executive session for evaluation of the library director, and whereas the result of that evaluation by all board members was that she had frequently or far exceeded the job expectations during 2020. And whereas the expense budget has been significantly underspent during 2020 due to staff reductions and COVID-related program changes that the library director handled in an exceptional manner. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Estes Valley Public Library District as follows. The board will award a $5,000 bonus to Claudine Perot in December 2020. May I have a motion, please?
I so
I
move.
motion,
Bill moved, and was that Ann?
yes,
Okay. Bill moves and Ann seconds. Discussion. Anyone? Raise your hand, unmute, speak up. Bill?
I wasn't able to attend the December 3 meeting because of a fracas with our realtors, but so I'm making this suggestion after a lot of thought, and I hope I'm not throwing a monkey wrench into this, but this has been a year from hell for the library, from everything I can see, and I've been through difficult situations as a CEO too, and it's really a test of one's stamina and cleverness. And I just think Claudine needs to get a lot of the credit for the successful operation of the library and protecting our staff members. And I'd just like to suggest that the bonus be increased to 10,000. That's all I have to say.
All right, you're making a suggestion. Do you want to make an amendment to the motion?
Yes, I'd like to make an amendment to the motion that Claudine's bonus be increased by $5,000.
I second.
All right, so the mover and the seconder agrees on that amendment. Other discussion on that amendment? The increase to $10,000. David or Kay?
Kind of catch me off guard, Bill, on this discussion because we had that meeting. I have no objections to the motion, and I will probably vote for it.
Okay.
I would agree. I think our review last session that she got very favorable reviews, and a bonus of 10,000 is very much in line.
Thank you. Without objection, rather than voting on the amendment, we'll just, since the mover and the seconder agreed to that change, we will take it as a single motion to read with the $10,000 bonus. I don't see any other discussion. We'll take a vote if you'll unmute and verbally indicate your support of this resolution. All those in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed? And it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. At this point,
You all very much.
At this point, we will move to the next action items, which have to do with the approval of the budget. We have 3 different resolutions that have to be passed. One is the resolution to adopt the budget. The second is the resolution to set the mill levy. And the third is to appropriate the specific sums of money. I'm going to turn this over to begin with to David Hemphill to make the motion. We need to take these individually. Is that correct, Claudine? Yeah. So the first motion to adopt the budget, David?
I move that the Board of Trustees accept the budget version 4 as presented to the board for 2021.
Okay, the specific language you find in your packet under the budget message. So all 3 of these specific resolutions as they need to be stated to the state are there. Do I have a second?
I second.
And seconds. At this point, what I'd like to do is ask Claudine to share with regard to the budget message. If you would, please.
Bet, John. Each year, the library provides a narrative version of our numeric budget. Not much changes at this time. We've got a bit of a boilerplate, but if I can, for the benefit of our new trustees, take 2 minutes. I know I always say 2 and then it's 5. John, you can time me.
No.
To explain the basic structure. Each year that we do the budget message, we put down in clear terms for, I think, an average citizen, what our actual revenues are against all collected property taxes. In that first paragraph, we then make sure we mention whether the assessed valuation is up or down for our upcoming budget year. It happens to be very modestly down. The library has a fixed mill rate. However, sometimes you'll see that the number fluctuates differently than 4.52 because we have the right to collect taxes abated and refunded. So that first paragraph is just a very succinct way of saying this is what we're collecting and how we're legally allowed to collect those funds. The bullet points underneath, which we'll talk about over the year, is just a reminder that the library has a rolling 10-year financial plan. All of that is static language. The second bullet point is kind of a recognition of the library's, I think it's 11-page finance policy. It's not complicated, it's just detailed. And just a reminder that we have a general fund, we have 4 accounts, and that's what our finance committee makes sure that Cindy and I are tending to appropriately. The next section is the notable projects for the year. This is the part that really does change every year. And Cindy's job as we draft up the budget is to make sure that, though I believe that early literacy and equity, diversity, and inclusion, community engagement software, and that our staff market corrections, I may believe them to be our driving strategic projects. And my question to her is always, are they financially also of significance? So sometimes this list is just major projects, the operating items that the library is working on. Sometimes it's a combination of those items and major capital expenses that just have to be done. So this is where, I try not to get too flowery, but that's what changes. And then the last page, again, recognizes some of our legal obligations. Tabor, which you're probably familiar with, and if you're not, we'll talk more as you onboard as a board member. But we have a responsibility to have an emergency reserve of 3%. Cindy presents me with what that number truly is for the 2021 budget, and so on. I'm going to skip through and say that the 4th bullet on that page is we really are very fortunate to have the support of the Friends and Foundation, and we always try and account for their collective gifts account now for just under 9% of our total revenue for 2021. And then the rest of this, if I may, is it doesn't mean anything until it really matters, but you should know that the library is as an independent taxing district, we use modified accrual basis of accounting. And that matters to people who are paying attention to our accounting practices because it happens like the Friends and Foundation are cash-based. So for anyone who's comparing the books, it's good to know what that means, and that's all within the library's policy. I think that the last part that's highlighted is it's just a reminder for me and everyone else that we exist to fulfill our mission, and within that mission we have these 5 goals, and that the budget would not be possible without the finance committee and our own resident accountant, Cindy Seckman. So that's the summary. I bet that was 4 minutes.
That was perfect.
And not 2.
Thank
Sorry.
you very much. I'll ask if anybody has any questions for Claudine in relation to the budget message at this point. I see no one asking. And so since we're going to be approving the budget, we will turn to the actual numbers, which are also in your packet. The budget at this point has a total expenditure. Let's see if I have everything right here. Total revenue plan of $2,244,499, and a total general fund expenditure of $2,135,665. which will leave us a surplus of $108,834. Anyone have any line item or section questions for clarification? Comment? I see none. Everyone is pleased. Okay. So we have before us the resolution moved and seconded to adopt the 2021 budget. If there is no further comments or questions, we'll take the vote. Again, if you would unmute and ask for a verbal. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? It passes unanimously. The second resolution, David, may I call on you, please, for setting the mill levy? And you might read the actual resolve on this one.
Okay, if you want me to read it, resolution to set the mill levy. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Estes Valley Public Library District has adopted the annual budget in accordance with the local government budget law on December 14th, 2020. And whereas the current year's valuation for assessment for the Estes Valley Public Library District as certified by the Larimer County Assessor is $415,273,968. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Estes Valley Public Library District, Colorado, Section 1, that for the purpose of meeting all the general operating expenses of the Estes Valley Public Library District during the 2021 budget year, there's hereby levied a tax of 4.538 mils upon each dollar of total valuation for assessment of all taxable property within the district for the year 2020. Section 2, that the President of the Board of Trustees is hereby authorized and directed to immediately certify the County Commissioners of Larimer County, Colorado, the mill levies for the Estes Valley Public Library District as herein determined and set. Adopted this 14th day of December, AD 2020.
Thank you, David. And may I have a second, please?
Second.
And seconds. Any questions? Any comments? Clarification? Okay. Again, I invite you to unmute and have verbal response. All in favor of the resolution to set the mill levy, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes. Thank you. And the third one is a resolution to appropriate sums of money. I'm going to ask Kay, would you like to read that one for us? You're muted, Kay. You're muted.
I was expecting David. I have to go out and get it.
Oh, that's fine. I'll ask David to do it.
Okay.
I was just giving you an opportunity to speak up.
You gotta
David?
tell me in advance.
Okay. David, if you would, please, you can just read the therefore on this one, I believe.
Okay, and I was all for Kay, but we'll get you next time, Kay. Whereas, now therefore be it resolved by the Library Board of the Estes Valley Public Library District, Colorado, that the following sum is hereby appropriated from the revenue to fund purposes stated. General fund of $2,135,665. Adopted this 14th day of December AD 2020.
Thank you for moving that, David. And a second.
Second.
Okay, seconds. Thank you. Again, any questions, comments? I see none. You're so easy to work with. Again, if you would all unmute and please vote verbally. All those in favor of the resolution to appropriate these sums of money, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed? And that passes. Okay. That takes care of the budget. Is that right, Claudine? Okay. We're ready for 2021.
Cindy will upload the final budget to the website and clear off the drafts. And then just as a reminder to everyone, the material is officially certified locally, and then we send that into the county so that they can do the actual work that we pay them 2% for, and then it gets filed with the state. So there's a bunch of other little steps that Cindy and I will take care of. We'll make sure the Finance Committee is satisfied, but thank you very much for your review of this budget and your approval.
Thank you for both you and Cindy for the hard work that was put into this, as well as the Finance Committee. One more action item. It's normal for us to close early on New Year's Eve, the library. The library is already closing somewhat early because of the COVID circumstances, but I encouraged Claudine to discuss with the staff a possible extra early closing on that day of 2 p.m. Any comments about that, Claudine? When we talked, you said the staff might want to stay on till 4.
The staff was prepared to stay till 6 p.m., which is the current schedule. Upon discussion, they did say, yeah, we probably have 2 people come during that time, and it's always like a wash of tax money versus vacation and paid time. So we agree with you, and thank you for the suggestion, John. It is our request to close early at 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve.
Okay, so I'm going to make that motion that we approve an early closure on New Year's Eve, December 31, 2020 at 2 p.m. May I have a second?
Second?
And seconds. Any discussion or questions? Again, if you would unmute and give a verbal response, all those in favor of the early closing, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes. Is there any other business that any of the trustees wish to bring before us tonight? No? Everyone's anxious for a quick meeting. Even though it's not Christmas Eve yet. Okay, upcoming meetings. We have no study session planned for January. We will be having an orientation session for Pete Johnson and Lynn Lawson early in January. Our next regular board meeting will be Monday, January 18th, 2021. Start, if you write checks still, get ready for that new number. The Friends and Foundation did have a brief meeting today, the 14th, which I attended, and they elected their all 4 of their 5 officers. They still do not have a vice president named. Their next meeting, I'm not sure. She didn't tell us, did she, Claudine, when the next one was? But anyway,
Joanna created that for us in your work plan, which you'll all receive in January.
Okay.
The annual trustee work plan will be distributed, and the foundation's next meeting is on here as soon as I find it. Shoot.
That's fine.
Okay, thanks.
That's fine. Just to let Bill know, I know he has been attending those. I will start attending them. I started today, and I'll continue to do that as my Mondays aren't as tied up as they used to be.
Their next meeting is in February 22nd.
Okay. Thank you. The library will be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, Thursday, Friday, the 24th, 25th, and of course on New Year's Day, January 1st. I think that concludes our business. Thank the board members for your participation and preparedness. And we will officially adjourn the meeting at, by my watch,